This year, on April 8th, Nintendo shut down the Nintendo network for the 3DS and Wii U, thus stripping away online play for both consoles. Exactly 1 month later, on May 8th, I was back playing online on my Wii U yet again. This is all thanks to Pretendo. In other words, yeah, you guys wanted me to do Pretendo, so yeah, I decided to finally do it. But also, Pretendo was something that I thought I'd do anyways, just because, like I said before, I like having that option of online play. Whether I am going to actually use it or not is unknown, but still having that option is important and something that I do want to have regardless. So firstly, for those of you who aren't familiar, what is Pretendo? The Pretendo network is basically a fan server that allows you to connect your Wii U and 3DS onto that server, and that basically acts like the same Nintendo network that gave online play to games on those consoles. Additionally, it has some of its own applications that are meant to be kind of parallels to some old applications for the 3DS and Wii U that were either shut down with the Nintendo network shutdown or a little before that. I'll get more onto that in a little bit. But basically, this is a way to get online back on these consoles, so if you do still want to play any of the games from these consoles online, you can still do that. Nintendo shutting down the online won't stop you any longer. Me personally, I don't know if I'm really going to be using this all that much because there's not really many games on the Wii U that I want to play online. Especially when there are newer games on consoles like the Switch that I could just do that with and have a better time with. But either way, I thought I'd try this out, and you guys also really wanted me to try this out after I made my Splatoon 9 years later videos. So yeah, I'm finally checking it out. Or I guess I did, and now this is my post trying it out video. You guys get it. So firstly was setting up Pretendo, and you can either do this with or without hacking your consoles. Additionally, there are options for having Pretendo on emulators like Cemu for Wii U and Citra for the 3DS. Never mind, apparently there's nothing for Citra. Yeah, you've either got to have your physical 3DS or you're screwed. Well, isn't that a good thing for me? Someone who has a 2DS that won't even turn on. It'll charge, but turning it on is, it's just an impossibility at this point. I don't know why. Okay, now it turns on, of course. When I go to record footage for it, it actually turns on. At least that's better than it actually never turning back on. So yeah, I opted to put this on my Wii U, which I have already hacked previously, so I'm not going to explain the hacking process or anything like that. If you do want to learn how to do any of those things, just look up actual guides for them, the official guides. This is just me talking about my process of getting it and then experiencing it. So I didn't even bother with the hackless method because, again, I already have my hacked Wii U, so it was just a matter of putting the files into the right folders and then activating it on my Wii U. Because it is all drag and drop, it is a very easy process. I know one of the things on here for a con is that it takes a while or it has more steps, but I mean, so what? It is also better to do the hacked method, because if you do hackless, there's no way of restoring your save data from a previous account to use that online. The way Pretendo works is you have to make a whole new account for it, and that means you're starting with a new account that has no save data. It's completely from scratch. Thankfully, if you have a hacked Wii U, there are ways of backing up your save data or putting it onto different files in your SD card that can then be transferred to other accounts. There's dumpling if you just want to dump everything from your games, including the updates, save data, and DLC. But in terms of actual save file management, that's what Save Me is for. It's also useful if you want to go back and forth between different save data files. For instance, with Super Mario Maker, I have my own save data that I gathered through playing that for however many years I played that. But I also have another folder that has a 100% save file, so it has everything unlocked, including all of the Mystery Mushroom costumes. And what's also great about this is that it's used through a plugin method. So you can just go into your hacked Wii U plugin menu, and then you can either turn on or turn off Pretendo whenever you want at your leisure. But anyways, back to the account making. It's actually very simple to do. You just make yourself a Mii for your account. You then go onto Nintendo's account registry and then just register your own account. And then you go back into your Wii U and then just go through the process of adding in the accounts like you would a regular Nintendo Network account. And then there you go. You have an account that you know is set up if you have a Nintendo Network icon above it. I did have a bit of trouble with this at first when it came to actually making the account and signing in, because apparently on the Wii U for your Nintendo Network account, you have a limited amount of characters for your password. So I had this really long password at first, and it just wouldn't work. I'm like, why is this not working? Then I checked on the Wii U and saw that apparently it has to be within a certain character limit. So yeah, that was kind of frustrating at first, but I got through it. And yes, since this is supposed to be like a mirror to the Nintendo Network, it has to have that same character limit. So even if Pretendo wanted to give that option to where you have the freedom to have a password as long as you want, it would just make the whole thing not work, because then how would you sign on to that on the Wii U? But in the end, I got my account set up, and then I was ready to test out 4 different games. Actually, when it comes to software in general, I actually tested out 5 things, but we'll get to that. So at first I had no success. Smash Wii U didn't work, Mario Kart 8 didn't work, Splatoon didn't work, but finally I got Super Mario Maker to work. Kind of. I was able to go into the course world, but in terms of options for what I could do, it was very limiting. I could only check the front page of new courses, and then if I tried to go onto any of these other tabs on here, it would just give me an error. I tried out the event courses, that also gave me an error. I tried doing the 100 Mario challenge, I just can't even do that. So Mario Maker still needs a lot of work. Also, for whatever reason, when I went to check my mystery costumes, I was missing a ton of the ones that were added past the initial 100. Before this, I did also try out Cemu, the Wii U emulator on PC, and I noticed that this error also occurs on there. I'm not sure what causes it, but it's very frustrating. I then went back into Mario Maker because I decided, you know what, might as well take the time to try out uploading a course. When I went back to do that, not only was I able to upload a course in which I uploaded a remake of my first ever Mario Maker course ID here, but I also checked back on the mystery costumes, and now apparently everything was fine and I had everything unlocked. So yeah, that's just strange, but hey, at least I have everything the way it should be. But also, quick disclaimer for Mario Maker, if you do want to use this with Pretendo, just be ready for all of your courses that you previously uploaded onto the Nintendo Network to be removed and banned. If you want to have those back on the Pretendo Network, you're going to have to make remakes and re-upload those. For me, it was very easy for the one course because all I did was copy that and then paste it onto a new course slot, and then just uploaded the copy and renamed it. And who knows, maybe I'll end up making more courses on Mario Maker 1 and putting those on the Pretendo Network, because hey, why not? In terms of the other games that I decided to try again, Smash Wii U still didn't work. It's possible that it just doesn't even have Pretendo support yet, so yeah, for right now, this dead game still has no online. But that wasn't the case when I went back to Mario Kart 8, because at first I couldn't connect, I tried again, and then I did connect. It was kind of weird, but I was able to connect, I was able to do a few races, and it worked perfectly fine. Although strangely enough, the game says that every player is from Florida. I guess, yeah, Pretendo needed to give some kind of location like the Nintendo Network does. And because these are all basically fake accounts, they just decided just choose an area and have that be the default for every single Pretendo account. So now, everyone who uses Pretendo is Florida Man. And now, I'm sure everyone from the Splatoon 9 Years Later video is waiting for me to talk about Splatoon, in which I have to say, I actually don't have much to say. In terms of connecting, I tried rebooting it a few times, and there was one time that I was able to actually connect to the Pretendo network. From there, I was able to get the intro like it would have been if the Nintendo network was still available, so that was really cool. I got to see what courses were available for all the modes, and it really did seem like it was just Splatoon the way it always was before online shutdown. But then things changed when I got into the lobby, because when I tried to get into a turf war, I just kept getting an error message. So turf wars just wouldn't connect. Ranked battles, however, could connect. I was able to connect to one, but after waiting for a few minutes with only 2 other people, we all just got booted because there were not enough participants to get an actual match going. So yeah, if you are going to use Pretendo for Splatoon, you're probably best off actually setting up a whole group first and then going online. This was then when I decided to exit out of Splatoon and give it a few more tries, but like I said, I was only able to connect once. So all those other times, I didn't get the news flash from the Squid Sisters, and when I tried to go into the lobby, it just wouldn't even connect at all. Wouldn't let me have anything on the menu. So that is a bit of an issue with some games using Pretendo. Sometimes you're going to have to keep rebooting it until you can eventually connect to the servers. But now that I've talked about a few games, I also want to talk about an application that I actually stumbled upon. Miiverse is back. Kind of. It's actually an imitation application that just looks a lot like Miiverse and functions a lot like Miiverse, but is its own separate thing with its own new communities. So I mean, hey, that's cool, that's back. And it shows the dedication to actually restore a lot of what was on the Wii U, even some of the more obscure or smaller stuff that isn't game related. And hey, it's an application where you can talk about mods and not get banned. So yeah, closing thoughts after trying out Pretendo. Again, I'm really not going to be using it all that much at this time. Even of the games that I tested, all of them have successors or ports on the Switch, so I can just do those if I want to play online. I mean, it's cool if I want to play modded Mario Kart 8, I guess. It's cool for Mario Maker 1, in which I might do some stuff on there a little bit. Smash Wii U is Smash Wii U, and Splatoon, I really don't know if I'll ever go back to again after making my 9 years later video. Additionally, since only one game seems to be working perfectly fine, 2 others do kind of work but are still missing some stuff or are a little rough around some edges, and one just flat out doesn't work for my testing, it's clear that Pretendo still needs a lot of work before it actually is back on that same level as the Nintendo network. So yeah, for what Pretendo is, it is definitely cool, but it's not perfect. But it can be perfect. I definitely do think that this is something that is worth giving more attention and continuing support for. Because again, it is a really great resource that can be expanded upon. Obviously, that's going to take a lot of time, effort, and support, but yeah, what we can do is at least support Pretendo. Talk about it some more, showcase it some more. If you have anyone you know who might be interested in restoring online support for the 3DS or Wii U, let them know about this, let them try it out. Then who knows, maybe more games will end up getting online support in the near future. Maybe games like Mario Maker 1 and Splatoon 1 will be more perfected. As long as we all do our part to give support in our own ways, we can end up with a more perfected service that restores what was previously stripped away from us. And then no one will ever have to suffer from post-Nintendo Network shutdown Splatoon 1. Is that seriously how I'm ending this off? As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to do the typical YouTube stuff if you enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and if you want to support the channel and get some neat perks, consider clicking the join button and seeing how you can become a channel member today.